Okay, hi. My name is Will, and I'm doing a tutorial about how I record voiceovers in Studio One. You can see I've already got the screen open here, and I've got a track added. Its input is just my interface sitting on my desk. I'm using input 1, and my vocal microphone, it's a Fifine K688, is plugged in to that source. You'll see that I'm doing something a little differently here in Studio One if you're already familiar with the software, and that is you've got the tracks over here, if you can see my mouse, and that's usually where you put your, EQ, your compressors and stuff if you were mixing a track. But for me, since I'm recording voiceover, I actually decided that I wanted to put those effects into every single recording. I'm not doing a whole lot, but this is the effect chain here, which you can open by just clicking on this I/O button. See how that button here opens it and closes it? This guy. You can put effects directly on that rack. So you can see that I have my denoising, I have a compressor, I have an EQ, and I have a limiter. And the limiter actually really isn't doing a whole lot. It's acting as a type of meter for me. See this K20? If it was in peak mode, it would be doing this. K20 gives me a better average signal for what to expect when I'm sending these recordings, and it just lets me know that, hey, you're right up on the target here. You don't need to go any louder than this. So importantly, this denoising tool, this is the BL denoiser, is free. And when I start a recording session, the first thing I do is I just tap this learn button, and if my HVAC or whatever is running in the background, it'll capture that. So bam, that's all you got to do. But the thing about that is when I'm using this low latency mode in Studio One, which is this green button down here, it's not available in all settings. You have to set your dropout protection to minimum or something like that, or medium. This low latency monitoring mode disables any plugins that aren't running in low latency. So when I'm actually monitoring this, it's only going through the compressor and the limiter. It's not going through the entire stack. But if I were to turn that off, there is a massive delay in my headphones. So this lets me have a best of all worlds approach. It still will record through the plugins, and it still will print whatever file. So if I start recording now and I record myself talking and all of that, this would be a vocal demo. I like your business, well done. And then I stop. I can play that back, but I don't hear anything because I'm still in the monitor mode. And I record myself talking and all of that. This would be a vocal demo. I like your business, well done. And then yeah. So I actually have to keep the monitoring enabled over here. That way it actually makes it into the screen recording software, but you have to disable it in order to hear that track. Another thing I could do is just drag it to another track and then hit play. And I record myself talking, and I could still and all of that. This would be a vocal demo. I like your business, well done. But let's move on with this tutorial, and that is exporting it quickly. So what I like to do is once I have a take that I like, let's say, I want to chop off just the very beginning, and I'm going to chop off the end because that wasn't part of the line. Now I've got just this clip. If you right-click, double-click on the title, you can type in bank VO demo. I actually like to copy and paste whatever the prompt title was in voices.com or something like that. But hit enter, and there it's labeled this clip, and it's always on your timeline. And you've baked this file in with all of these, the denoising, compression, EQ, all of that is already there. So what you can do is you can hit export selection, or I have a hotkey control equal, and it will bring up this little window, and it will say save as, and it's going to save the WAV file. So I was already doing some auditions earlier today. I've already created my folder, but if you, on my desktop, I have desktop, audition exports, and I have it broken down by date. So today's December 11th. I'm going to throw the file bank VO demo there. Easy. It's going to export the WAV. Now, the thing is, when you go to submit vocal auditions, they're expecting a 16-bit MP3. So you actually have to go and convert your files. So what I like to do is once I've got all of my demos recorded for the day, sometimes I'll do it one at a time if I'm having like a slow day and I only have one to do. In Studio One, you go to Studio One, Audio Batch Converter right there. And I'm going to keep my mic in OBS for right now because you can't hear me because I'm not monitoring it anymore. And what you do is you go to Add Files, and you would take your VO that you recorded, your demo, and you would open that, and you would say output format type MP3 file. You know, the resolution is going to be a bit rate of 320 kilobits per second. The sample rate is 44.1. That is important. You could choose 48. Most sites are expecting a 44.1 file, and they won't let you upload anything else. So, channels, mono. We only recorded mono. You don't need stereo. So get all of those selected. If you need to pause it, whatever. And then you select your output location, which again, you'll have to go to select, make sure you're in your, audition day. What I really like to do, sometimes I don't, is in that folder that I made, hit new folder and call it MP3 just to kind of keep things organized. Double click that, select that folder, and when you process it, it will convert it, drop it in that folder you just specified, and now you click this button up here to go back to Studio One, and I am now back to monitoring my mic and can hear myself through the software. So you still have to do a couple of steps. I like to add my name to all of my files before I upload them. That way, whoever gets it has an idea of who I am. So desktop, because you're not slating in these, or you're not I'm Will and blah, blah, blah. So go find your file, and you'll see that there's VO Bank Demo, and there's also now this MP3 folder, and there's VO Bank Demo, whatever. That is the MP3 file, 8 seconds long. I have this utility, it's free. It's called the Bulk Rename Utility. It is attempting to launch. Here we go, I'm going to drag it in here. The Bulk Rename Utility. And what I do, and again, this is once I have everything recorded and converted, I will go to the folder, desktop, audition, exports. I will go to the date. I'll go find the MP3. I only like to label what I'm going to upload, and that's going to be the MP3 file, so I don't relabel the wave too. You click on this, and I've got this setting set up that it's going to add a prefix. See this purple box? Add prefix, and I've typed it in, Will Wacker _ It's going to add that, and it says, here's a preview of what that looks like. And if you have like 20 auditions in a day, this saves you so much time than having to go in and like copy and paste it in front of every file name. Forget it. So it is destructive. Once you hit that and hit rename, it's going to say, dude, I'm literally going to do this. Are you sure? And you can like tell it, I don't want to see this warning because I like to have it. So I leave. Hit OK. It says, wow, that took me 15 milliseconds to do. Not a hard job at all. You could have done it yourself. Yes, but if I had 20, I wouldn't want to do it. You can close that, and now you can see that this file has been renamed. And if I had all of them, it would have just done them all. If I double click it, you probably won't hear. And I record myself talking and all of that. This would be a vocal demo. I like your business. Well done. I think OBS probably captured that twice, so it probably turned out super loud. But yeah, that's the file, and I would be ready to upload that to voices.com or voice123 or anything like that. So why is this different? Because I'm not adding my plugins onto a normal place in Studio One. I'm baking it into the file. And the reason for that is if I were to record all the files raw and have to export them with the FX chain, I would really have to spend a lot of time going to like song, export, file, save, and, all of these like steps to just generate the file. And I could print the MP3 that way. But I just prefer to be fast. Export selections, So there you go. I hope this tutorial helps somebody. And thank you for watching.